ready. He's like, let's get this thing started.
Wow, look at the strict faces on both of these players. They are staring down, ready to get this on. I mean, not even a smile, nothing out of those guys. And we're going to get straight into the game. The countdown has started. As I said, the map is going to be Destination, a 2-player map, and it's quite a small map, really. There's not too far distance between both bases.
Like you said, they're going to get the choke, or the choke on that choke outside the front. They're going to put defense on that, rather. And like you said, if they go in early, they can use that choke as defense as well with the Reavers. If they mess up the early attack, they're going to have to wait on that one gate, or the one Nexus, rather, and not expand so early. So they're really going to have to play defense if they mess up the early.
Yeah, that choke outside the natural can be used in 2 different forms, really. I mean, it can be used to contain your opponent because it's so hard to break out.
Right.
And it really does make Reavers fantastic use because of their splash damage and all these units clump together on the ramp. They can just do critical amounts of damage. But on the other hand, you can kind of use it for a defensive option. If you go for any form of early harassment, you can always fall back on this ramp because there is 2 ramps on the natural. You can fall back, and it makes it a lot easier to defend against any counterattacks.
Like you said, now this could be an early cheese by any of these guys since it is a map. They know where each other are. Does this change? And there we have Flash and the team from Korea hanging out in the crowd right there. Gujilla and the rest.
And Jaedong.
Yeah, Jaedong as well. And we got, like you said, the cheese. Does it matter now that they know where each other are? They're going to scout at any different point in time since they know they don't have to search?
That's the thing with 2-player maps with cheese. I mean, if you play on a 4-player map, you have the longer distance to actually scout where they're going to be. It's going to take a longer time to find the base, and therefore cheese becomes more viable. On this map, it is a 2-player map, so both players know exactly where they are. It doesn't look like we are going to see any cheese. Both players do put down the gateway down, and we are scouting right ahead now.
Indeed, no cheese there, and iNfeRnaL was actually calling it. He kind of gave us an inside hint, but I guess he's not going to use that. They're going to go straight for it, and, you know, it's just going to be figuring out what each other are doing from here on out. The map is pretty long range, so we could see some air come into play later rounds if these first Dragoon attacks early game don't really do too much damage to anybody.
Yeah, iNfeRnaL decided to scout straight away after building that pylon. And F91 decided to scout around his base, as we can see on the minimap. He looked for that cheese, he checked his natural, and he checked the side there as well. He does not want to get cheese by iNfeRnaL. It feels like he does kind of feel threatened by this threat, and they will delay his scouting. But in Protoss versus Protoss, you can scout your opponent for so long because you have to get the Cybernetics core out to get the Dragoon out to finally destroy the scout. And then even when you destroy the scout, you usually go for a Robo Bay. Therefore, you can get an Observatory and Observers out, and therefore you can continue your form of scouting.
Yeah, they're perfectly good. You have to get them out of your base first. You can't give them too much right in the beginning of the game because they'll easily just counter it or wait for you to really send that mass in, or they'll try to pinch you into your base. Like you said, if you go out early and you can't use that choke point to your advantage, they're going to contain you, and that's the disadvantage to that choke as well.
And it looks like Vulture's put a a mana pylon as such in the mineral line. And as we saw this yesterday, this does delay the mining time for both players.
And it is, a lot of this looks like it's going to be unit creation, attacking, whatnot. A big thing about StarCraft is the economy. If you have a lot of money, you are losing the game. You always need to be spending. You need to be controlling your economy. The micro and the macro is what all this game is all about.
Yeah, right now both players not really doing anything too special. Range is being researched here by iNfeRnaL on his core, and probably the same on Vulture. Not too much going on right now. It depends what kind of strategy they are going to go for. 2-gate is quite a really cool build on this map because you can do that aggression with the Dragoons. Are we going to see Robo put down or the next gateway?
I'm not sure right now. They're setting up, there's another pylon going to the top side of the map. Placing out. What would that be for? So far away? Is he just making range? Making sure you can see it?
It looks like it could be a proxy Robo Bay for the Reaver drop. That's the only thing I can see him doing with that because, I mean, he has kept the probe there. It could be to confuse F91, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be putting down a facility building there.
I have a very good idea. We could see some DTs coming out here if he can get that Citadel of a Dune up and get the rest out. You're actually probably see some Templars off that, but I don't even think he's gone for the core upgrade on his goon, so right now he's going fast tech.
Well, it looks like iNfeRnaL, yeah, he's going to put the gateway down there, and he's gone for the Citadel, but at the same time, F91 still has the probe inside his base. I'm not sure if he realizes this, so at any point of time, Vulture can move down and scout super easy.
Yeah, that's just like we saw yesterday on Outsider where they do the mineral jump. Just staying outside the base, getting back in when they can, and getting that viewpoint that you need for just a few seconds, because that's all you really need to see how big and how bad your opponent is really attacking. There it is. The Citadel is up, and there goes the Templar Archives. It looks like we're going to have a big tech game coming out of these two with 2 goons in the middle. They're going to see this probe, try to stop him for the scout, but nothing really happening at this point.
This is huge right now. The probe's going in, the probe goes in, and it will scout exactly what's going on. He sees the DTs coming, and he's going to be in a great position now. Vulture can just scout out. He's moving down, actually. He's deciding to push out. Dragoons are moving down, and they're actually going to engage. And it looks like iNfeRnaL does not have enough units. They're engaging right now, and this could be huge.
We're definitely going to have to see a robo come up somewhere if one of them does not have it yet, because that observer is going to be able to come out. I believe that we have one on the bottom, but got that action in the middle. Zealot's going up to the top as he's now pumping units out of that proxy, and he is being pushed back right now. He's trying to get to his base. The goons are behind. He's going to have a Zealot and a goon now to kind of harass up here, but it's going to be seen now by iNfeRnaL.
Yeah, iNfeRnaL's in such a bad position right now. That scouter, he didn't realize the probe was still in his base. He's got a ton of minerals right now. He's floating so many minerals, and he's in a terrible position. Vulture's going down on that pile, and the gateway is going to go unpowered.
You know, like I said, if you're not spending your money, you are going to be good. You're not going to be doing as well as you should be. And he's just getting too complacent in what's going on. The attack is happening. He does not remember to keep unit building, keep your micro and your macro up. Oh, and there's the DTs coming out right there. No observer to help him out. And it looks like they are going to be able to stop this, get another pylon up, and kind of reset that offense of the proxy.
Yeah, he did manage to turn the gateway off and turn it down, but the thing is, he does have the observer out, and the observer is on the way. So DTs are basically useless right now. They're irrelevant, and the Nexus goes down for both players. The Vulture has his Nexus down a little bit sooner, but that is so huge for Vulture. The DT goes in, but does he have an observer anywhere here?
Yeah, Vulture is being very aggressive right now, expanding as well as having a proxy outside, but he has the money to do it, and he's still just around the same money iNfeRnaL has, rather, from Germany. But right now, going in, the observer going to help here. He's going to be able to take out that one if he can micro this goon, but that Zealot's going to be able to run in as well every time he stops with a GT on his tails. This could be a big attack here if he can get these to go down.
Yeah, these goons do have range on the DT, so well micro goons will take these DTs down with the observer. They're still alive. The first one's back to them, but they're taking so much damage in the red HP. He's going to micro this, and he will take the damage, and the DT and the Zealot do go down. He's in a safe position. Another DT comes in. The observer should be moving towards the ramp, as that's where the threat is going to be coming from.
So we got both expansions up now. Another gateway going down on iNfeRnaL's, and there you can see the probes going out to start that second Nexus. He is going to try to set up some D there. Both the players now to build their ranks and see what they can do. All observers are out. These guys are running it. And like we did see the DTs, so he's going to have to keep those observers on the defense.
Oh, that DT does manage to survive. It does leave the base. The observer is there, but it will get away. It's going to leave the base. And Vulture is now pulling ahead with 45 food versus 32. He has got a ton more probes out because of that Nexus being produced. No probes here on his base, and he's been forced to put down cannons because of this. And it looks like Vulture's going to be pushing down with his units.
That is going to hurt. He's going to lose a little economy there fighting this Dragoon, but with those Nexuses out, he is going to be getting a lot of money, and right now iNfeRnaL is not doing a lot to bolster his ranks, but what helps him is the distance of the map, and the proxy is a disadvantage right now that Vulture has up there on the right side if he can get power back to that. But we see Vulture now trying to go for more defense on that base, trying to get that money. They're both at 500 minerals right now, so they're really looking to mass an army right after these attacks. They get settled in, and then we're going to see the aggro.
8 kills this Dragoon has. That's done so much. I have 9 kills. This one Dragoon is a hero. He's going to die with a medal. Wow, look at this guy, 10 kills overall, and there's just no units in his base to defend against this.
Yeah, he really went out too far. I think that proxy was a little too soon. It was seen because they had that scuffle in the middle, and he kind of pulled them back to they had to go back to base from iNfeRnaL side. So Vulture, he was seen there, kind of taken off guard, and iNfeRnaL's been doing actually a good job of keeping himself in the face of Vulture. After all of this has happened, iNfeRnaL was pushed back.
It looks like the Dragoon will finally go down. Is it going to manage to take any extra kills before it dies? It does take one more hit, and it does go down with 12 kills. That is huge. He lost so many probes. He does have his natural defended well with the 3 cannons, but he just lost way too many probes. And we look at the food count, it's 62 to 37 right now.
We do have some of those Templars out, so he's looking to use those Templars at range to take down these goons. However, Templars are very weak, so he's going to need to make that happen fast, and it's one of his only units out right now, so he probably wants to create some other units, obviously, but get them out to bolster his shield around those Templars because you want to keep them in the back.
Yeah, what he's going to do now, if we look, he has the Observer in place, he's moving these Dragoons round to the back, and they will be able to fire onto the probes of iNfeRnaL's, and that's even more harassment, and I don't think he can actually defend against this. He can put a cannon down, but it's just going to be taken down straight away. He does not have enough ground units, and this is going to be extremely painful for him.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good type of harassment here. He's going to have to pull his probes off, and now they're all going to have to mine from the top. Zealots can't do anything about it, but he may be able to storm over that, and he will, and not being moved. iNfeRnaL finally catching that alert. He gets them out of the way, and that's a good thing about DT or the High Templars is that they can attack from such long range, even though the goons do have the range themselves.
Yeah, that's his only form of defense against this Dragoon under his natural, his only form of defense. But then again, he doesn't have enough energy. He only has 2. He can use a couple of storms, but as soon as the energy just disappears, he's going to be down, and there will be nothing to defend against this. At the same time, Vulture right now is just powering away. He's got so many gateways. It looks like 6 gateways now, and it wouldn't surprise me if he decided to take a 3rd.
I mean, iNfeRnaL, we can see him still clicking on gateways, building up. He's still pulling the ranks out there. Still 450 minerals for iNfeRnaL. Vulture is sitting at 300. A little attack at the top. Just harassment now from iNfeRnaL. He's trying to keep Vulture at bay, but Vulture growing and growing. iNfeRnaL just doing too little and maybe too late.
Yeah, both Templars here have enough mana to help defend against this, but look how many units he's pumping out. This gateway is going to go down. I mean, it's still been underpowered. It's not really useful, but he's just going to take that down, and he's in a comfortable lead now. And all iNfeRnaL can do right now is defend, and he's just contained. I like we were talking about that ramp. He used it to defend with these cannons, so he couldn't pump. I mean, so Vulture couldn't bring any units into the base, but he's just stuck in there right now.
Right, there you go, the High Templars trying to do some damage, and you'd think at this point you'd see somebody at least break off, try to go for a Reaver drop at least once, harass in the back of the base, and really do some damage, but they've been really stalemating with the goons. We did see some DTs, the High Templars come out, but they don't want to go too far. We see a lot of gateways, so he's just unit pumping right now, and Vulture's trying to get that mass over iNfeRnaL right now, and it's going to be a pretty big battle in the end here.
Yeah, and iNfeRnaL's only just had the time to upgrade range for his Dragoons. I mean, he was put so far behind with going for DTs, he just couldn't do it, and it looks like Vulture might be going for the kill now. He's got so many units. He looks like he's going straight for the natural of iNfeRnaL. Will he have enough to defend against this? He has a few units, a couple of storms, and 3 cannons. I'm not sure if that will be enough. It looks like right now Vulture's pushing down into here. Is he going to push? He looks like he's just going to set up for the contain. The 3rd base has been put down on the left-hand side of the base, and actually there's no point for him to even go in there because it looks like he'll just lose more units than actually there's just no reason to go in there. So he can just sit outside the base, take the entire map, and just go to 200.
This is that contain right here. Even though he does already have an expansion, he can contain that area, and we do have a lot of movement over across the bridge. It looks like they are going to do somewhat of an attack here. Microing with his goons, trying to get out. A great storm, only losing a few zealots and not even. Taking out 3 goons. Good damage. The offensive push here coming from Vulture. Will he be able to get outside the ramps? And it looks like he will be held off by the photon cannons at that point. They got Archons and Templars back there to start doing damage once they cross the bridge.
Yeah, iNfeRnaL really needed or tried to get out there. He just couldn't push out. There was too many units there by Vulture. He's got so many units outside the ramp. That container is super strong. 120 food, a ton of units, and there's nothing that iNfeRnaL can do. Even if he just tries to sit in his base now and just try to get as many units out as possible, he's just not up the gateway count. There's just too many gateways from Vulture. He's going to start producing from his 3rd pretty soon. And here he is. He's mining here to try and get down towards the back of the base. But that observer is in place right now. You can see it on screen. That is in place. She's going to see this, and that is the only form of action that iNfeRnaL can do.
Yeah, Vulture just moving out everywhere right now, setting up speed zells. iNfeRnaL, however, has upgrades to a few of his shots, and I believe defense, so we're going to have to see if that plays. You know, less units can still be better if you micro them exactly how you need to in that fight, and that bridge is going to help out a lot with the cannons behind it as well. We can see him setting up D here. He's just kind of moving his units around, getting it cleared out, making sure there's nobody that's going to surprise attack him from any angle.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's trying to do. He's moving Vulture. Vulture's being forced to move to the left-hand side of the map. He thinks he's trying to move out. Great move by iNfeRnaL, but he doesn't have enough units. Storm players. Zealot's going to cut him down. He needs to take him down the entire army. There's just not enough units here for iNfeRnaL.
Yeah, this is a really big commitment here. Both of them are going at it, not stopping at this one, and we're just seeing the Zealots go, the Dragoons to stay in the back and do that long-range D, as it looks like iNfeRnaL is just losing too many. The Templars trying valiantly to storm the crap out of these Dragoons, and iNfeRnaL, GG's, as Vulture comes out with the W.
Yeah, that really didn't work for him. He tried to get that DT out so he could do a ton of DT harassment, but that probe stayed alive in his base so early on, and I don't think iNfeRnaL actually noticed and realized that the probe stayed alive. Therefore, he was like, okay, I'll just go for DTs. This is fine. Maybe I can pull his cheese off. But the probe did stay alive, moved down, scouting exactly what was going on. Observer went straight up. Observers came out and just cleared out any form of DT harassment.
Yeah, that was really good, and like I said, they stalled there, going at goons. They kind of didn't really figure out what was going on. iNfeRnaL was trying to bolster his army. I think the cannons were a good defense, but I think he went too much into it. Then went for the Templars, which just weren't such a good attack. For the speed cells, they got right out of it, got in the face of the Templars, just started taking out iNfeRnaL's army.
And it looks sadly for iNfeRnaL, this will be his end of his World Cyber Games 2010 trip over here to LA.